you'll find a CTES folder. So from start all programs, you'll find a CTS folder, and in there you'll find the Orion Net 2.5. Okay, so the box is called Orion, the software is called Orion Net, and in there are 4 separate programs. Okay, now in order to run the job and actually record the data, okay, we need 2 of those running at the same time. We have the acquisition program, okay, which the acquisition program is actually the one that talks to the controller inside the box, okay, and it's the one that records the data in the database. The viewer is the one that you'll interact with. It's the one that comes up and shows you the data on the screen, and you can change the dials and move the boxes and do all that. Okay, so the viewer is the program. It gets its data from the acquisition. Now we've set it up so that when you open the viewer, it automatically opens the acquisition. Right? But the first thing that we have to do, and I guess you've already done this, or it was commissioned. Somebody from Hydraulic was here, were they? Or
no,
just sent them?
We did ourselves.
You did, okay. So no man's already done this part, all right? In order for the acquisition to be able to get the data from the controller, the first thing we need to do is tell the software how to do that. Okay? So in my example program here, so I've gone to start all programs, CTS, Orion Net, and I've opened the 3rd program there, which is the blue icon, the Orion Net configuration.
This is the main thing.
Yeah. So what I'm telling the software, by using the configuration program, I'm able to tell the program, I'm able to tell the software about the configuration of my box, i.e. the wiring configuration. How is this box wired compared to other boxes? Alright, now you'll see in my list I've got several different configurations. One is for an Orion 4 simulator, one's an Orion 5 simulator, there's a default and there's an Argus one. In your computer, you've got one specifically for this box. Okay? So how does the software and the hardware connect? Well, we have a thing called an IP address, or Internet Protocol address. Now, when you guys are at home and you connect your computer to the internet, okay, your computer is set to get its address from your internet service provider. So yeah, so either Do or Etisalat, you connect your computer to the wall, and there's a server somewhere in the Do building that says, communicates with the computer and says, okay, you're going to be this address, because I've got 1,000 other computers and they're all these addresses, so I know you can have this address. And all the different computers are all different addresses, so they can all talk to each other. Our controller in the box doesn't have, it's not smart enough to do that. It can't tell your computer what address it's going to be. So basically we need to tell the computer, it's called a static, rather than getting it from a service provider. Okay. So you'll notice that laptop, if I go to my settings, okay, if I go to my network settings on the computer and I look at my local area connection, your Ethernet connection, yeah, if I look at the properties in there, my computer is set up because I connect to the internet. Okay, I go to TCP/IP4 properties, yeah, so mine's set up to obtain the address of the computer automatically from the internet. That's standard. If I want to connect with the Orion box in that unit, I first of all need to tell the laptop what address it is, okay, and then I need to tell the software what address the controller is at, and they both need to be on the same network to work. All right, so in your tough book there, what you'll find is that if you go to this setting, you'll find that it's got an address like this. Okay. And then if I put that next to the configuration, you'll note you can't really see. Okay, can you see that says 192.168?
Yeah.
199?
Right.
Okay. What I want to do, my computer has to have the same two numbers as my controller,
Right.
but the second two numbers have to be different.
Right.
Okay? The first two numbers basically tell the first two numbers put the computer and the controller on the same network, and the second two numbers allow them to be different positions on that network so that they can then talk to each other. If I make them both the same address, the same position, they think they're both the same thing, so they can't communicate. So we need to make them on the same network but different addresses. And how we do that, we make the first two numbers the same, and the second two numbers can be anything between 1 and 250. Okay, but they have to be different. So even if I made my computer 5.2, this is the controller's 5.1, that would work. That's okay. Yeah, as long as the first two numbers are the same and the second two are not exactly the same. That's okay. So the numbers we usually use are 199 and 11. Now you'll also notice the second row, when I started to fill this in, it automatically puts 255, 255, 2550, because that's for the internet. But for our box, we need 255, 25500. Now this is set up in your computer, so it's already set for you, but you know, you were asking earlier about what happens, can I get the software from the internet and things. If that breaks and you need to bring another computer, you'll have to make this change when you connect it to the box, otherwise you won't be able to establish the communication first. Yeah?
So my question would be, how do you get these numbers? Yeah.
There is inside the door of the box, there is a sticker which suggests these numbers, but if you forget, these are the standard ones, but they're not fixed. Like I said, as long as you put the first two numbers the same, you can put the second two numbers as anything, as long as they're not exactly the same as the controller. Yeah. So as long as you've got 192.168, you can then put anything for the next two. So you don't have to remember it exactly, you just need to remember that the first two numbers need to be the same, the second two numbers different.
So these numbers are just numbers you came up with. It's not something that there's a format or
yeah, you'll find one. I don't know where the numbers originated from, but 192.168. That's a standard it's a standard setup for the internet. If you go to the computer store and you buy like a router, a wireless router, and you want to log into that router, its address is usually 192.168.01 or 00 or something
depending
like that.
from the country you are in.
Yeah, it's a kind of, I don't know.
Nowadays, if you buy these and you go to the options, automatically detect the settings, it does work.
Okay.
It does work. No need to mention.
No.
Like old previous routers, you have to put
Yeah.
198 like this. No, it's just
not anymore. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I just wanted you to be aware that if you bring another laptop to the unit, it's probably set to connect to the internet. So you'll need to make a change there before you connect when you connect it to the box. Okay. The numbers that I suggested, these ones, they're written on a label inside the door of the box. So if you do forget, you can open up the box and it'll say, okay, there's my suggested laptop should be this. Okay, so it's in there. Okay.
Where we can find this?
But yeah, if you the acquisition box, if you open the door, there's labels inside. Where basically, so I got the drawings from inside the box.
Okay.
On the back of this door, there's some stickers on there with yeah. Okay. On the front of the door, it also tells you what the controller address is, so you don't have to remember that one either. It's actually yeah. Each of the units will be slightly different. You'll find that you've probably got 192.168.5 because it's an Orion 5 model, and then 123.4 because this is the Oil Cerberus' first 4 units with this model. All the other units in Iraq and Saudi, the Saudi ones aren't hybrid, but yeah, all the ones in Iraq, they're all the older models. Okay, so in your laptop you have, as well as these configurations, you've got one specifically for CPU 1, 4, CPU 4, your 80.
We have like 506A, like the Orion number we have.
Yeah, okay, 5068. Yeah, so you've got
50968.
So you've got a specific configuration in your list here, specifically for your box that's in that unit. All right. I don't have that one here, so I'm just going to demonstrate the connections with this simulator one, but you'll have a specific one for your box. So the first thing we do, after our laptop's set up and ready to connect to the box, the configuration, okay, I mentioned that this is where it gets just a little bit complicated, so I'm going to go through it again and again. All right. I mentioned that it's the acquisition program that communicates with the controller, okay? But we have to tell the acquisition program